which came out in 1997, and this is an EDT eau de toilette concentration, and I'm pretty sure this is the first men's fragrance from the house of Antonio Banderas. So Antonio Banderas is a spectacular Spanish actor that has international fame, and the fragrance company has done very well, and most people do not realize for both men and women's fragrances, the house of Antonio Banderas has over 90 different scents. So if you can search some up, dig some up, they have something for everybody, and they're usually a very reasonable price. They're great value, and there's a wide range, a wide variety of smells or scents to buy. So this fragrance in particular is a good scent. It's already almost 30 years old. It's a great price, great value. And with Antonio Banderas, like I said, there's a huge selection, a huge variety, and it depends on what you like. So always try before you buy. But this is definitely a house, if you're, a little bit tight on the cash, this is definitely a house for men and women that you may want to try. So I'm going to give it a spray in the back of my wrist. So initially you get a peppery mandarin citrus that is fresh. But the one thing about this fragrance, the citrus vibe in it is a little bit sour, a little bit bitter. And that is a smell that some of the fragrances had in the 80s and 90s that has basically been eliminated in modern fragrances. So young cats, this may not necessarily be the fragrance for you. If you like a little more of a vintage style, possibly. But always try before you buy. The first dry down, you definitely get more of a citrus, herby, leafy combo. A lot of people say they pick up some leather. I pick up a little bit later, a bit of leather, but not too much. Some people compare this to Christian Dior Fahrenheit. I get none of that, not even the slightest bit. Later on, it becomes a little more woodier. You still get the citrus, but it's sour. The herbs, which are bitter, and it's dirty a little bit, but it's not an overly complex fragrance. There isn't a ton of development, and if you like a fairly straight linear fragrance, this could be for you. But nevertheless, this is a smell that I truly love, and it almost has a little bit of the tomato leaf scent that some fragrances have. So as advertised, the top notes are mandarin, bergamot, green leaves. The mid notes are pepper, geranium, and patchouli. The base notes are leather, musk, and sandalwood. But as this dries down, I don't get any creaminess from the sandalwood. I don't get a lot of muskiness. The dominating scent profile in this is the bitter citrus, the bitter herb, the sour citrus, a little bit of leather, and mixed in with some pepper and mandarin. That's the general vibe of this fragrance. Performance on this is a more modern bottle, maybe 5 or 6 years old, is about 2 to 3 hours. You're gonna have to respray, and you gotta be careful with this one, I find, in the summertime, because of the bitter and sour nature of it. If it's hot outside and if you overspray, it can take on a little bit of a raunchy scent profile. So even though some people may think, well, it's a citrus fragrance, it's okay to wear in the summer, be careful and monitor how it plays off your skin, and even ask people, how does this smell on me? Is it getting a little bit too sour? But again, this is not a modern style fragrance. And the one thing that I love about Antonio Banderas is the price. Where I live in Canada, these fragrances come at a very, very reasonable cost. So if you're a little bit of an older gentleman like me, not too old, or if you're a young guy that wants to break away from the sweeter style of fragrances and you want to try something a little bit different, see if you can get a sample of Diavolo by Antonio Banderas, and also try out many others from this line. Get some samples. because like I said, they have a huge variety and they have something for everybody. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any comments or questions you have, leave them down below and I will always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.